Hey everybody, what's going on? We are back with another reaction video. I'm here with St. James, and this time he picked a very interesting video. We are gonna react to men don't need more therapy, they need more testosterone. St. James, why did you pick this video?
I thought it was very interesting. I thought it made some good points. I kind of agree with a lot of it, and I also thought you, what I think you assume this video is not what it's going to be. So I really want to sit down and break it down with you about what people are lacking naturally, and not what substances they should be taking.
Right. And I gotta say, I haven't seen this video at all, and this is one of those videos where you know what's going on. I don't know what's happening, so it will be interesting to see what are the questions I have. So hopefully you can answer it. All right, let's get into it.
Testosterone.
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 Testosterone's effect on the mind.
So there's this brutal whipping contest in northern Nigeria called Shero. First, young Fulani girls bring bare-chested, unmarried men to a center ring. The men raise their arms to expose their ribs, and then they receive a brutal flogging in front of everyone they know. If they wince or cry out or do something to show openly how much pain they're in, this apparently brings great shame to themselves and to their family. This is meant to be a test to determine whether a boy...
Dude, imagine if this was the thing we did over here, dude.
Bro, what? Bro, what? Hard pass, bro. Like, I gotta be honest with you. Pussy's good. It's not this good, bro. It's a hard pass on me on this one.
I know
It's
what you
not
mean,
worth
bro.
it.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean.
The closest thing we got to that in America is when you play 2K with your homies and all the girls come over.
Right,
Like if one of you guys have a girlfriend and she
right.
brings over her friend and it's like you guys are playing and then one of you guys lose. Like that's the closest thing
That's a,
to
that's a
embarrassment you're gonna get.
right.
Yeah. Oh no, it is. No, that's a better one. If you're playing basketball with your homies at the court and all the girls come over, that's the
Mm-hmm.
closest thing you got to like
Everybody
public
starts
shaming.
showing off, like, taking shirts off, like, come on, come on.
Everybody thinks they're Magic Johnson. Like, oh no, look, ah. Yeah, but like I don't know, man.
I
But
know.
as a kid, I don't know about you, Ali. I used to my family they did believe in hitting kids. So we do it was been a few times I got a public ass whooping. I gotta tell you, they don't feel good. They don't feel good.
It's the public shaming plus the actual pain, the physical pain. It's just like all wrapped up in one. It's one serving for all of it. All right, let's keep it going.
deserves to be called a man. In other countries, we have a similar test, except it's a lot simpler. It takes about a week. You go to a clinic, you get your blood drawn, and you wait for them to tell you what your testosterone level is. Okay, my point isn't that we all need to measure our T to see who's the manliest manly man. My point is that testosterone actually has a lot of psychological effects that each would help these young men get through this brutal whipping ordeal.
The major effect of testosterone is to make effort feel good.
First, in this particular culture, getting beaten with sticks grants you some social status. So you would need to have high motivation to get social status, and motivation for social status is probably the best known psychological function of testosterone. Second, one of the fruits of this ritual is gaining the right to marry a woman. So you need high motivation to put effort into attracting a mate. This is another well-known function of testosterone.
Undai ka kai namiji wanda zai daga hannunka to wannan inde yana da fari na zamu uku da saboda shadi kawai.
Third, since everyone is literally watching you
He got
Three
three.
Hey, you know what? You know, if you told me I could get 3 wives, maybe I'll sit through it, bro. Fuck it. 3? Three's a crazy number, bro. I was with him until he said 3. I'm like, oh man. At some point, this is for you. This is not even about the honor anymore. This is just for you to get your nut off, bro.
Right.
But at some point, if you got that much testosterone, maybe that's
I mean, he's got
maybe that's
enough
what
for
you need. 3
so,
wives.
yeah.
Da fari na zamu
3
uku
wives
da
sound like
saboda
What's up?
3 wives sound like a headache. No, go ahead. I'm done.
The logistics of it, yeah. But I guess he's just bragging. He's just showing you the good part of it, you know?
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
shadi kawai.
Third, since everyone is literally watching your manliness be challenged, you need high resilience to social anxiety. The research suggests that testosterone can have potent anti-anxiety effects, and it especially reduces social anxiety.
So I bet that testosterone has something to do with that stat finding that 45% of Gen Z, age 18 to 25, have never approached a woman in person for a date.
Fourth, this is a high-risk, high-reward activity.
That's a crazy stat. 45%.
It is. I wanted to ask you because the one thing I've noticed since I had this injury, I haven't been able to go to the gym as much as I would like. Is have noticed that my social anxiety has actually, ironic enough, has gone up. I don't think that'd be ironic. I think that would be like a direct one for one. With you being in the gym a lot recently, have you noticed your anxiety going down?
Oh,
Honestly.
that's facts. That's facts. And for the sake of the viewers, I only started going to the gym maybe like 3 months ago. So if even from 3 months ago till now, it's been like a huge difference. And I just feel more comfortable in my own skin. And not like, at day-to-day life, you don't really, it's not like the craziest change. Maybe not right now, but I definitely see like 10-20% improvement. Like I could just see it. So it's just, you feel so much better. You feel more comfortable in your skin. You can actually visualize things, how things are gonna work out, instead of dreading that dreading feeling, or like, oh, what if this, what if that. You don't have those. You don't have those anymore. So it's really good. But speaking, to ask about you on your end, what do you feel like? What are the anxieties that are going up?
Oh, I'm just more anxious, and it's calmed down a little bit since I've been like moving my body in other ways, going for long walks, doing a lot more PT,
Mm,
strenuous PT at the crib, like body squats and stuff like that. But oh, it was a point in time where like I was just my social, like I just didn't like being around people. It made me anxious,
mm.
talking to people, making eye contact, all things that are very subtle that I wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't spent my whole life in the gym. And now this last year, the year and a half, I haven't been in the gym, so I've noticed even when I wake up, when things go wrong, that's another thing. Like if something comes up, like a problem comes up, I'm like, oh, I just noticed. I'm like more like I'm doomsday. Like I become a doomsday prepper quickly. I'm like, oh, everything's going wrong. Society's falling
You
apart. That's
spiral.
a different thing. Quickly in a way
Yeah.
that I didn't when I was in the gym. I've noticed.
Yeah, no, definitely. I definitely see testosterone have a subduing effect on anxiety, for sure, for sure.
If you do well, you get honor. If you chicken out, you're an embarrassment. Testosterone, of course, makes people less afraid to take risks. Lastly, of course, you need a very high pain tolerance, and testosterone even plays a role in reducing your sensitivity to pain. The tough reality about testosterone is that your brain could raise your testosterone right now, but it doesn't feel like it because it thinks you're a loser.
Low T has been linked to everything from loss of energy, muscle mass, and sexual function.
The effects of testosterone almost sound like magic. We've all heard that testosterone makes you look good, it increases muscle mass and reduces body fat, but it can have significant mental effects as well. The research suggests it can increase confidence, energy, and mood. Testosterone may reduce overthinking and make you more persistent so you work harder before you give up. It even has an antidepressant-like effect, and again, it makes you less anxious. The anxiety-lowering effect of testosterone could lead to less procrastination. We've all heard about supplements, nutrients, foods, herbs, and exercises that are supposed to increase testosterone, but not enough people are talking about your psychology and how simply the behaviors you choose to do can affect testosterone. There are moments in our life that can significantly raise our testosterone, and there are moments that can lower our T. So about 13 years ago, I was sitting in an office in the financial district of Tokyo, and a man in a suit was saying to me, "You've got the job if you want it." I definitely did want that job, considering at the time I was working 2 hours away from Tokyo in a town where nothing ever happens. Leaving his office with a job offer, I felt amazing. Probably how those people in those 90s Mentos commercials felt. After that, I went to the station, and as I got off the stairs, I noticed a really hot woman waiting around, and she seemed to be glancing my way. At this point in my life, I had next to zero game. Even with plenty of beer in my system at the bar, I would often think a girl glancing my way was just looking at something behind me. But on this day, I quickly assumed that her brief eye contact was probably longer than what's normal, and without thinking, I started walking towards her. I said hi, and a couple minutes and laughs later, she gave me her number. We met up for drinks the next week. So what exactly happened here? How did a job interview give me more courage and game than beer? So here's the thing. Winning actually significantly changes your body chemistry. Winning raises testosterone.
When men win a competitive task, their testosterone just kind of goes through the roof. It goes up big time.
It doesn't have to be at sports either. Researchers found testosterone increases even in people who win at chess. Actually, men only have to think that they won to get this testosterone boost. Anthropologists at Cambridge.
Wow.
Isn't that mind blowing? It also is so fucking mind blowing because you know how many times I've been giving niggas smoke on 2K. And I'm like, bro, nigga, I just feel like that man, bro. I feel like that man. I thought it was all over here, bro. No, my body was like, yeah, bro, you that guy. You that guy.
Yeah.
No. That's so funny. It's also funny to me too, Ali. Tell me what you think about this. The
What's
fact that your body has testosterone, it won't give it to you if it thinks you're a loser. Which shows how much your self-belief in yourself actually moves the needle because your body won't even give you the chemical that will help you be better if it thinks you're a loser. That blew my mind. That's like, isn't that kind of like nuts?
It certainly makes sense because if you think about it, the placebo effect is real. When your mind thinks
Mm-hmm.
something's happening, it sometimes physiologically it affects your body as well. So if your mind thinks you're a loser, your body just withholds all the feel good chemicals and everything that would benefit you, and it would just dump all these bad chemicals in your body or whatever you're holding in your head that will never negatively affect you later. So it definitely does make sense. I do wonder if there is a way, because he just mentioned you just have to think you're winning. I do wonder if there's a way that you can kind of trick yourself, where you can just kind of trick yourself into having small wins every day that will just boost your testosterone. You're basically getting little
Yes.
testosterone boost throughout the day.
I would bet it is, right? I would bet all this stuff is a compounding effect, which makes me even feel worse about our generation. I'm like, man, if your mind would give you what you need, if it just thought you was doing well, and testosterone over generation has been going down. Not only how many people are not doing well, how many people think they're not doing well.
Mm,
Like the thing I know about my uncles, Ali, is a lot of them are delusional. Like I got
mm.
uncles who ain't done shit with their lives. They talk like they're the man. You ask them, nigga. It was them and Michael Jordan in the court, and Michael Jordan just happened to make it to the league, bro. Like that's how they talk with no proof. And if you and because of that, they walk around like they're the man. If you didn't know in passing, you would think they are the man. Like that's how much energy and self belief they have, which makes me feel like, dang, how much is this generation, our generation and generation I know is not believing in ourselves. On top of the fact that we're also probably not even doing that much, you know?
Yeah,
And like it
no,
kind of makes me sad.
I hear you. Think about it like this: there is like an active living and a passive living, and I think these days there's a lot more people who want to live passively and don't really want to engage with anything versus back in the day where people had to live more actively because that's just the way everything was. But now just living passively is the norm. Just being on your phone and just absorbing everything else everyone else does is the norm. And being an active participant in life sometimes is shunned, sometimes is cringe. If you're Have you noticed where if you're doing something with your life, sometimes you feel like it's cringe to other people?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, all the time actually.
Yeah, and even though it makes no sense, and if you tell it to somebody who got their life together, they'll laugh at you, be like, "What are you talking about?" But in certain social circles, in most social circles, where it's if you're doing something with your life, some people might just be like, "Oh no, he's doing too much. You're doing too much. Why are you not conforming to whatever we're doing?"
Yeah.
Let's keep it going.
Rowing machine so a winner would be randomly decided. For the men who were competing, winning had nothing to do with performance, but the winning rower still got a testosterone boost.
We brought men into the lab. We had them play a video game task against an unseen male opponent. When men won the video game task, their preference for feminine women were higher than when men lost. So this tracks the testosterone pattern.
So what happened with me and the woman on the train platform? Well, testosterone increases risk-taking in men, which makes sense, as it's also well known to reduce anxiety, and especially reduce social anxiety. So maybe if someone is less anxious about social situations, they'd be more extroverted, right? Well, yes, this study found that in one group of people, the most extroverted men had 30% higher testosterone levels. Other studies have shown that low testosterone links to social anxiety. What's more interesting is that this study on 350 college students found that in people with higher testosterone, they more quickly went to approach and talk to people when entering a room. Yet another study suggested that men put more effort into attracting women when their testosterone is higher. So putting all this together, it makes sense.
There is something to be said about that, to putting more effort, where it is nowadays where it's like, oh, as soon as you hear a no, or as soon as you feel like something's going wrong, you're ready to give it up, versus you always hear about the people who've been persistent, or who people who are actually especially back in the day, where you hear these stories where it's like people, like, have all these stories, and, like, they say whatever just to get the girl, just to get the number. And that was the norm back then, where they would have all these stories, and they would make up things just to be able to win. And that was the persistence that I think he's talking about, where it's like, I feel like back in the day, it was that people would have higher testosterone, and they wanted to just get the result, whatever it takes. Now, I'm not saying that
Mhm.
it's right that you lie and cheat and steal just to get your point, but I'm saying there is some truth to that, where in order to get the win, you would do what it takes.
Yep. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm-hmm.
That on this particular night, I was more extroverted, less anxious, ready to put in effort in attracting a woman, and didn't hesitate when I went and talked to her. All this merely because my brain gave me some testosterone, because it just thought that I was a winner for acing that job interview. But here's the big thing. Yes, testosterone makes it easier to put on muscle and lose fat and increases confidence and mood, but it also changes your psychology and perception. High testosterone makes you see the world as a place to get more testosterone. It makes you more ambitious. Movie director James Cameron, whose films have earned over $8 billion at the box office, claimed once that testosterone is a toxin that you have to slowly work out of your system. Which is interesting, considering he made that remark after ambitiously pursuing his career, which earned him several hundred millions of dollars. The scary thing is that testosterone levels have been declining for decades. Just between 2000 and 2016, the testosterone of men in their 20s declined about 100 points. Meaning,
That's what I was talking about, where you see the back in the day versus now, it's going down like crazy.
the average testosterone level is likely even worse today. This can't be good news for men's motivation, mood, anxiety levels, social skills, and even personalities. There are all kinds of great points about food, toxins, plastics, air pollution, an epidemic of bad sleep, and exposure to blue light, and so on to worry about, but we don't hear often about how your psychology affects your testosterone, and how testosterone affects your psychology, and what to do about it. So we need to talk more about the testosterone momentum effect. That is,
Real quick,
increasing testosterone.
Go for it.
Before getting into it. Yeah, it's funny because I did dry January and it ended today. And I was telling you this early before you hopped in the call. I was looking at myself in the mirror and I was like, bro, I felt so good about myself. And I didn't know what it was because I don't think anything. I do think I look better. I feel better. I just feel, and I feel like I can like get a lot of shit done. I feel like 125%. I feel like $100, right? But the only thing I can think of, even based on this video, is like, well, I haven't drunk in a month. I've been getting quality sleep. I've been moving my body. I've been doing a better job of not falling asleep to my phone. Uh, Unironically, my testosterone might just be through the roof right now. And because of that, I just feel better. And I think I look better. And I might even look better. And because of that, like, I'm so excited about the future and all the projects we got going on, all the stuff we got coming. And I'm in a way, and I was overwhelmed for a little bit at the end of last year. But now I feel like, man, I can get anything done. Like I feel like 125%. So I do think testosterone, like objectively, is playing this role in my life. I'm like, I have more stuff to do, but I feel like I can get it done, which is going to give me the effect, the ability to get more stuff done, and it's just going to feed on top of itself, one and another. Not to even mention, like I said, not to be redundant, I just feel better. I just feel good. Can't really explain it, but I just like I looked at myself. I'm like, damn, man, I might be sexy.
You.
I don't say that often. Don't laugh.
Well, I mean, it's an affirming laugh. I'm not laughing at you. It is that self-fulfilling prophecy. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy that you're talking about, though. It's you got the little boost. Now you feel better, and as you're feeling better, you give yourself more of a boost. And it's just got you, as you said, you just kind of building up on yourself, and that's kind of what he said, where you see the world as a place to get more testosterone right now, where if you have low T, or if you're suffering from low T, you would exist in the world in a bad mindset, and then you would just bring yourself down. So you would just kind of bring your own levels down. So it's very interesting.
Makes you want to do more of the things that raise testosterone. So back to my story. After the woman's train was completely out of sight, I really didn't want to go home. I had a bunch of energy and I had a very clear and strong urge to look for a bar or something and talk to more women because apparently I had superpowers today. Testosterone comes into play here again. So testosterone raises men's interest in women, but it's been found that a 5 to 15 minute conversation with an unfamiliar woman can raise a man's testosterone. Of course, stimulating your muscles in the gym is very important for testosterone levels, and this study suggests testosterone increases your motivation to work hard in the gym. And remember how competing and winning raises testosterone? Well, higher testosterone usually makes men want to compete more. So it's easier for the winners to keep on winning, and the winners probably want to and try harder to win more. The flip side of this is also true. If you're doing things that wreck your testosterone, it's going to be easy to get into a downward spiral. Last summer, I discovered the best way to absolutely crush your testosterone. I didn't eat anything for 5 days, and then still without eating, I ran a marathon. I checked my testosterone before the fast and right after the marathon, and in under a week, my testosterone dropped 90%, 840 to 82. That's a 758 point drop. With levels like that, I'm surprised my doctor didn't ask if I got some kind of surgery. The following 2 days, I was extra irritable, anxious, and just in a really dark mood. I felt like everyone was against me. When I was hanging out with my friends, I'd be twisting the most innocuous comments in my head, thinking, what the hell does he mean by that? We'd have a very normal interaction, but afterwards, I'd be scared that they hated me. It was a very weird headspace, and if you want to do a 5-day fast and a marathon, don't do it before any important business meetings or hot dates. Luckily, as I demonstrated in another video, your testosterone may actually bounce back even higher after refeeding after a fast. So I expected that at least my testosterone levels would bounce back to normal. I felt better each day, and by the 3rd day, I was feeling sore but mentally totally normal. But if I had low T like that regularly, I'd probably get barely any work done. I'd have no motivation to go to the gym, and I'd be stuck in a low mood, low confidence, high anxiety, high irritability state that would definitely put a strain on my relationships. Racking up all these losses would probably make me feel like a loser and reduce my testosterone even further. That's because the flip side of wins raising testosterone is that losses lower testosterone. One study on rugby players found that their testosterone reduced a whopping 40% after losing a big match.
But if they lose a competitive task, it just plunges.
That's risky, bro. Competing and if you lose your team by 40%.
That's the game, baby. You can't. It can't all be up. You got to be some downs, huh? Yeah, that's kind of nerve wracking, isn't it? Like,
right.
To know, like,
I don't want to do anything.
So, I mean,
I see why people don't want to compete. The risk is too high. Let's go.
The floor. This has actually been shown in multiple contexts. You win, your testosterone goes up. If you lose, it goes down.
So testosterone seems to be acting like some sort of mental leaderboard. When you win, you move up the leaderboard and you get all the benefits associated with that. When you lose, you move down the leaderboard and you feel like crap. It's almost like all the human male brains and hormones are cooperating to negotiate where everyone goes in the social hierarchy. In fact, animal researchers found that the easiest way to guess which male has the highest testosterone is to just check their position in the social hierarchy. The winners have higher T and the losers have lower T. Being higher in the social hierarchy means you likely have more testosterone. This is the case in rams and primates, and yes, within humans, there's data that a man's status within an organization correlates with his testosterone level. For example, a CEO would have higher testosterone than a manager. But there's a side note, other studies have investigated status and testosterone in organizations, and it wasn't so cut and dry like this. This is likely because humans aren't monkeys. A high-ranked monkey is basically high-ranked in all aspects of monkey society. But a human might not care that much about his job. It's just a way to make money.
How about I give you the finger?
What he really cares about could be his status within his family, or his status as a CrossFitter, a chess player, or an artist. And of course, the flip side of this is true too. Yes, having high status links with higher testosterone, depending on the context, but the most well-known function of testosterone is again to promote status-seeking behavior, to make people want to get more social status. Okay, so what can we do with all of this information? Well, let's dig a bit deeper. You're probably familiar with the placebo effect. Researchers out of Stanford took this one guy's terrible burning pain in his arm from a crush injury from a 7 out of 10 to a 3 out of 10 simply by telling him that they put a powerful pain reliever in his IV drip. In reality, there was no pain reliever. Brain scans of his brain even reflected that indeed he must be feeling dramatically less pain even though the pain reliever was all in his mind.
Significantly less activity in the brain in all of the areas involved with the processing and perception of pain.
The placebo effect is really widespread. Studies on fake sugar pills, placebos, have found that fake pills can make people more drowsy or stimulated. Fake placebo injections provide relief for Parkinson's, but the placebo injection that they say is more expensive works even better. Fake placebo pills even provide relief in irritable bowel syndrome, even if the people are straight up told it's a placebo. In depression drug trials, about 35 to 40% of patients improve on placebo alone. Even fake knee surgeries provide lasting relief. There's even placebo sleep in this one.
So it's all about trying to unlock or trying to kind of release that part of your brain where it can provide the chemicals you need for you versus you getting it from an external source. As long as you can activate that, it's very interesting. Where you wouldn't even need anything else. You would just need to have a way to not trick your brain, but kind of unlock that door, unlock that chamber, so that it can actually give you what you need.
It also makes religion make a little bit more sense to me. I grew up religious, and I'm still a spiritual guy for the most part. But sometimes I grew up in a church where you see people have almost get cured from cancer from praying and stuff like that, and you can it's hard to kind of reconcile some of that stuff the older you get. But now you read or hear something like this, it's your mind is so powerful, it can really make your body do things that it shouldn't do if you just believe. It really seems to come back to you're saying, if you can get your mind to believe that this is happening, it will make it happen. It's it's kind of crazy, but it's cool too.
Yeah, very interesting.
Study, researchers asked people about how they felt their sleep quality was the night before. Then they ran some tests using a bogus machine that the researchers claimed could accurately tell how good their sleep quality was. This was a lie. Then they did some cognitive tests. How good the people said their sleep was didn't even matter. Only the fake test results linked with cognitive performance. The people who were just told that they had really high sleep quality did better on the cognitive tests, and the people who were told that they had bad sleep quality did worse on the cognitive tests. Their actual reports of sleep quality didn't matter. Since good quality sleep is the most important first step for keeping your testosterone levels high, it would be interesting to see if being lied to about your sleep quality could affect people's testosterone. Speaking of placebos, as we already discussed, to get that winner's boost in testosterone, you only have to think that you've won. Now, this isn't all some big argument for manifesting daily affirmations or for visualizing yourself as some kind of 20-foot tall, high testosterone man in the sky, but your mentality and perception are important. Testosterone benefits your mind, and your mentality benefits your testosterone levels. So, is the way your life is set up making you feel like you just keep losing, or do you feel like you're racking up wins?
Do you have a job?
No.
You got money?
No.
You got anything on the horizon?
No.
While writing his book about testosterone,
I know what he means. I've been there.
Been there before.
Yeah, relatable.
and psychology, Professor of Psychology James McBride Dabbs noticed he was feeling quite dejected and pessimistic about his book when his wife gave him feedback that the draft for one of the chapters really wasn't that good. So he thought to check his testosterone. The next day, after a good night's sleep, he found himself feeling much better and much more optimistic, and he checked his testosterone again. According to him, his testosterone was about 30% higher on the day that he was more optimistic. The point is, you won't do yourself any favors by staying up all night listening to sad music and reading the hyper-pessimistic philosophy of Arthur Schopenhauer, or reading depressing articles about how the world is about to end because of AI and global warming. Again, because in general, the physiology works on psychology and vice versa. If you do all the physical things like fixing your sleep, fixing your diet, working out, getting plenty of sun, and stop drinking so much alcohol, you'll probably find yourself more optimistic and just not even interested in pessimistic philosophers. Going further, if your relationship has devolved into endless bickering, your brain and HPG axis are probably going to see you as kind of a loser, and it'll be stingy with the testosterone. If your job feels completely meaningless and your work is underappreciated, that's probably not good either. If you've got no new goals and you're stuck in the same safe routine, you don't even have things to win at. On the flip side, if you have some solid goals that excite you, you'll have more chances to feel like a winner as you make progress and rack up indicators that you're getting closer to your goals. Now, James Dabbs also reports that one of the characteristics of high testosterone males is that they like to, or need to, be around people a lot. I mean, sometimes we have to lock in alone to get our projects done. I do that a lot, but I really don't buy this trend of trying to make being a Sigma male cool. A Sigma male is often described as a lone wolf who grinds in solitude. That kind of sounds like a fancy way of saying a loner. Anthropologist Lionel Tiger argues that primates and humans show a clear evolved tendency for males to bond and form groups that cooperate on a common goal. Now, don't mistake this video for some pitch to get you to inject testosterone or do some TRT protocol. That comes with its own complications. What I am recommending you to do is to naturally raise your T however you can. The big point of here is that your physiology and psychology are very closely linked. It seems nowadays some people can get too focused on fixing their psychological issues, healing their trauma, or just healing in general. And they get more and more caught up in trying to find the best therapy modality or psychedelic retreat.
Do you ever find yourself in these kind of loops where you really try your hardest to figure out what's wrong, and or maybe you think something's gonna help you, so you really dig deep, and instead of like actually actively trying to improve your life, you just like do like all this research and all these everything just to improve your life. So yeah. I find that
I do it all the
interesting.
time. Go ahead. No, finish.
I was gonna say I find it interesting because it's like the tendency to want to get better, but you don't actually put in the work. You just think that you're gonna get better just because you know all this. But it's like it's knowing it and then putting in the work.
Exactly. One of the things I've trained myself, and I tell a lot of my homies this too, is the best way to get out of a funk is just to move. Literally move. Get up, go outside, go for a walk. Get up, go outside, go to the gym. Get up, clean your room, make yourself a nice, good breakfast or dinner. Like the quickest way, because to your point, we, especially with the internet, can all get these things where like you go and it feels good to like kind of do like 2-3 hours of research, but then you kind of get this weird dopamine from doing the research, and then you don't do anything, and then you're back in the hole, and you're like more anxious because now you know all the stuff to do, but you didn't do anything. The best way to like to shake that off is you just gotta move. That's the one thing I want. You just gotta move, and anything's fine. Like a walk around the block really helps. A walk to the beach, cleaning your room, talk to a homie, leave your apartment or house, go to the coffee shop, call your homie at the coffee shop. Like there's like a change of scenery and moving your body is the best way to break a funk. And it's just that simple. We don't talk enough about this either. Like everybody thinks it has to be something like super drastic. It doesn't. And like I said, like the thing with me, I like AI so much, so sometimes I could just I'd be in my bed, just me AI, like, bro, AI, am I smart? And like, you're so smart for asking, you're smart. Like, yeah, I need that. But I have to remind myself, like, that doesn't do anything for me. Like
Right.
actually go out and move.
You need to make a physical change. You
But
need like something changing in reality. Where I think that's a part of it, where we get into these headspaces where we think whatever is on screen or whatever is online is reality, but your reality is your reality, and your whatever's around you, whatever is actually physically around you is your reality. So you got to be mindful of that. To what you're saying is physically change something, physically go out and move, physically clean your room and make a change, make a difference. And we're not saying it's like a magic pill and that you're instantly going to feel better, but it's those little small wins that you stack up on top of each other and you compile them into a bigger win. All right, let's keep it going.
Now, all that stuff can be helpful and kind of fun, but depending on the person, optimizing health and hormones might just be a lot quicker solution. Also, testosterone levels are a fantastic indicator and a rule of thumb, but it's not only about how high your T is, of course. Androgen sensitivity, levels of free testosterone, DHT, cortisol, estrogen, prolactin, and so on all come into play. I recently put out a video on keeping your balls cool to protect your testosterone because balls simply don't operate as well when they're too hot. But the two most basic first steps for raising your testosterone are optimizing your sleep, losing weight, and lifting weights. Particularly squats, but sprints are also an excellent exercise for testosterone. But when you're doing those sprints, you might be leaving some energy on the table by not replacing the sodium and electrolytes you lose through sweat. Testosterone is of course great for energy, but something I've been doing for years to keep my energy levels up is simply taking electrolytes.
Actually, I am taking those electrolytes over there. I want to ask you this. This is kind of a. This is kind of. I mean, it is somewhat related, but do you sweat a lot when you work out and all that? Do you feel like you need to replace your electrolytes that often?
I haven't I haven't really pushed myself like that in about actually a year and some change. It depends. Like lifting weights doesn't make me super sweat. Cardio, I sweat like a Hebrew slave when I hop on the treadmill for
Cardio, yeah.
sure. Basketball, treadmill, the elliptical, I do sweat a lot. But if it's just weights, nah, I get a little sweat. Like I'm a sweater, but I don't like sweat a lot just lifting weights. No.
No, that's how it's the same for
You
me. When I lift weights, it's I don't sweat that much, but as soon as I hit cardio, I've become very sweaty. But I've noticed I was talking to my friend about this yesterday too, where I do take the electrolytes, but I definitely am worried it might be too much sodium.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying?
Why?
I don't know. I take it only when I go to work out. Anyways, I just pour like I open one packet, put it on my drink, and then I drink it when I'm working out. So I don't think it's that bad, but it's just so salty. And you know, when I eat food at home, I add salt to it, and you know I like salty snacks and all that. So I feel like it adds to the sodium, my regular sodium intake. So I just get a little worried about it, where it's like I don't want to overdo just because I'm trying to replace these electrolytes because it is just you know you're just taking salt.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I don't know. It is like a weird balancing act. I'm trying to have.
That's where this video's sponsor,
All
Element,
right,
comes
is that the end? That is the end.
in.
All right.
Since electrolytes and
Element tea, yeah, Element, yeah, I do have those. Yeah, I do have like little packets. They're really good
Hey,
and no sugar. You see, that's the crazy part though. If you look, 1,000 milligrams of sodium. You drink this in a 16-ounce drink. It's salty. Yeah, there's
here's it.
no
I'm gonna
like
put you on game.
room.
Himalayan salt. I'm gonna put y'all on game. Himalayan salt and a touch of lemon. Homemade electrolytes. Thank me later. That's all you need. A little Himalayan salt and some lemon juice. And
How
you only
much in
got not even
16
lemon juice. Go
ounces?
get lemon. Oh, I don't know. I'm too much of a bro science type of
Yeah, you
guy.
just pour whatever
Enough for
looks
you.
good.
Whatever, just enough to taste it, but not too much to throw off the taste. You know, just enough to like you get like you should be able to taste the salt, but it shouldn't be too much where you don't like it. Like you still should enjoy the water.
I definitely been thinking about that. Where I should have some in my. I put it in my fridge downstairs here. Where I don't want to take the number one element is actually very expensive, and for like
Exactly.
yeah for a pack of like what was it for a pack of like 40
16.
something, yeah, for a pack of 16 it's like $30 or something. It's something crazy. And for a pack of like 48.50 it was like 72, 75 or something. It was insane. So
You can
after I
go get
bought,
a
yeah,
you about to say you can go get a thing of Himalayan salt this big for about $4 from the $4 from the store.
right,
It'll
right.
last you about 3-6 months, and it's the same thing. And I
It's literally
said
the
you can
same
go get
thing. And,
you can go get
the only
and
thing
go
they
get
got
some
going
lemon.
for them in Element is the fruity flavors, where it's like I can live without that. You know?
Go get you some Mio, bro. I'm finna put y'all in game, bro. Hey, this is St. James original, bro. Go get you some Mio, some lemons, some cucumbers, and Himalayan salt, bro. You finna feel like a fancy white woman, bro. You
Dude,
ain't
let's go. Let's go. Let's freaking go. All right, Sir James, what do you think? What's your final words of wisdom
I,
for us?
I thought this was very informative. This, as a guy, like I said, I just did dry January. I haven't been drinking. I haven't been sleeping. I feel like $1,000,000. I think everything he said is true. I've even noticed I have a decent sex drive and libido, and like I have a little bit of I don't need extra stimulus to talk to ladies. But I've noticed since I've been like focused, like my hunger to even go approach women is back. Uh, I feel more confident in social situations. I've had a couple of business meetings recently, big business meetings, and I was able to walk in there with my chest high. And this is in hindsight. In the moment, I just thought I was feeling good. But now I'm like, oh, this is all making sense. It all adds on top of each other. That I'm treating my body well, which is making my mental feel good, which is then making my body feel well, which is then making my mental feel good. And I'm in like this positive loop right now. And I do think it's all because my testosterone is like just naturally coming up. And I think it's naturally coming up I'm not on TRT. I'm not going to get on TRT. I don't think people need to, unless you're like a bodybuilder, then, do what makes you happy. So I also think it's good that all these are natural solutions that you can control. That's my
No,
2 cents.
no.
Yours?
I definitely do think this was a lot of helpful information, and trying to get into that positive feedback loop is very important. Where, especially if you are not in there, to get those little small wins is going to be very difficult, but it's going to be worth it because you can then build upon those wins and kind of getting into that. I concur, and I do agree with you that just ever since started exercising, ever since kind of trying to have that routine and showing up no matter what, having like some sort of discipline, having set of rules for yourself. And this is just, I'm talking strictly about showing up to the gym, not like, everything else. I'm not even, we're not even worried about. We're just talking about strictly showing up to the gym. Even that has a positive feedback loop in and of itself where you feel good, you feel better about it, and you can use those small wins in the gym in other aspects of your life to try to take control. So yeah, I definitely do feel the changes and all that. Is it a magic pill that's gonna immediately fix you and fix your life? No. No, I think you and I agree on that too. Where you could you could have all the testosterone you in the world, but you still, if your life is bad and your circumstances are bad and you're not really doing anything to change those, you still where you at. You got to actually take those positive changes, and you got to have a set of rules for yourself where you do want to get better. So it's not just that I'm going to get my testosterone up and everything's going to magically get better. It's that having a higher level of testosterone is going to help propel my life into a better situation, or is going to help me propel my life into a better situation.
Exactly.
One more thing, but it's just like talking about when you mentioned TRT and all that. What people don't talk about is, or I don't know. I think people do talk about it. It's just that I do hear more people wanting to get on TRT and wanting to get on whatever peptides and SARS and all that. But
Mhm.
when you do that, your natural levels or natural building level, like your natural testosterone building, goes down. So you would automatically need to get more. You would automatically need more injections. You would automatically need more whatever chemicals and all that. So you're just kind of shooting yourself in the foot. Where it's just, it wouldn't be worth it, you know. You're building on a house of cards that's gonna fall down at any time. So that I think is very interesting. Is like you can't even fake it. You have The best way to do it is to do it naturally, because that is the most solid way, and that is the 100% guaranteed way for you to be successful, versus you chemically injected and then now you're dependent.
Exactly. And once again, unless you're pursuing bodybuilding, there's no reason. Women don't like it when you're that big. It's a misnomer. Women like you to look athletic, and being big and swollen muscles and you can't breathe if you walk 2 blocks. It's not hot.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, being athletic and lean and healthy, you live longer, you feel better, you're not damaging your body, and you have a better chance of getting a mate that you like.
Right, right. No, I'm with you. What about now that we're talking about it, what about like some of the negatives, right? If you have too much of a
Of
high
testosterone?
testosterone. Yeah, yeah. If you have too much high testosterone.
Oh, that's a good point. I mean, I feel like it's hard being me, all this extra
Yeah.
tea running around my body, but it just
can,
makes
can
you
you
a
pull
competitive
that
freak,
durag back so we can see some of the
Oh, ho, 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 ho.
all
I thought
right.
this is for the audience,
Yes,
dude.
yes, 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 yes.
Yeah,
If you
yeah,
do get on
that's a good
chemicals,
point.
yeah, yeah, if you do get on chemicals and all that, you're gonna lose your hair. That is a real thing. Where if you, let's just say you say fuck it, I'm gonna induce it chemically, and I want to get it like a huge boost in a short amount of time, you're gonna lose your hair, right? You're gonna have there's gonna be dangers of having a heart attack, right? Your hormones are gonna go out of whack and all that. Where there's always a balance to these things, where you want to boost the levels where you at if you're not feeling that great, right? But if you already are at a good point, you just want to maintain. if you already
Exactly.
if you're already feeling good and you already are winning and you have all these, you have this momentum, it's way easier to just keep that momentum versus, oh, I'm not happy with it, I have to have more and more and more, where it would just cause problems. It would just cause problems. You would just put yourself in more of a danger. All right, my friend, anything else, any last words before we go?
No, I think we hit it.
All right, awesome, awesome. We'll be back very soon, and I'm gonna say this here. I really do want to do more of these reactions, so we'll definitely be back very soon with another reaction video. So for now, see you guys later.